You're listening to the Thriving Mindfully podcast. I'm Ananda Leek, your Thriving Mindfully coach and podcast host. I'm also an artist, an author, a human design doula, and an interfaith reverend. The Thriving Mindfully podcast is a heart-centered, digital sacred space that I created to inspire and empower you to be present, well, and the real you. Tune into the latest conversation I've been having with myself and others about nurturing, transforming, and celebrating our lives, relationships, and career. Today is International Women's Day. It's March 8th, 2023. And International Women's Day is every day for me. Just like Women's History Month is every day for me. Just like Black History Month is every day for me, and so on and so on. You get what I'm saying. Today, while I was in meditation and prayer, I started to have a conversation with the Creator and my loving, wise, and well ancestors about service. And if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I've been talking about serving yourself first before you can serve others. And you've heard me talk about the fourth core commitment of thriving mindfully, a heart-centered approach to being present well and the real you. And that fourth commitment is serve through your living. Before you can serve anyone, you need to be able to serve yourself. When you take care of yourself with mindful self-care, that's serving yourself. You are making sure that you are in a good place to be able to serve others. If your cup is not filled, how can you honestly serve others from a grounded place? And so today I wanted to talk about my mom and how she has been a shero, a service shero for me all of my life. And my mother learned about service through her parents and the work they did in their community in Indianapolis, Indiana, through their church at St. Rita's Catholic Church. And then she also learned when she joined Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated in 1959 on the campus of Butler University. She was 19 years old, and she happened to have the privilege to join Alpha Chapter and to be mentored and trained, and as we like to say back in the day, pledged by some of the founders of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, which is also my sorority. If you don't know about Sigma, I want to just give a quick shout out. Visit sgro1922.org. And the reason I'm mentioning my mom and her connection and work with the sorority is because I believe that is where my mother's core commitment to service that has extended throughout 60 plus years, that's where the seeds were planted and nurtured as a 19-year-old woman in 1959. That's where it started. And because she made some choices back then and continued to make consistent choices in how she showed up in her service with the sorority, as well as expanding that into the church community that I grew up in, St. Joseph's Catholic Church, in terms of the neighborhood that we were living in and the school that we were a part of, and her involvement and community there and the neighborhood of Kenmore, her choice to serve as a teacher, a vice principal, and then later as a principal in the Catholic school system in D.C., and then her ongoing work, even after she retired as a principal in the sorority, in the Phyllis Wheatley Y, WCA in DC, in her work as a liturgical music director, and I'm probably messing up the title, so forgive me, Mommy, the director of liturgical music and the gospel choir founder at St. Joe's. Even now into her 80s, she continues to find ways to serve. My mother serves herself first by making sure she takes care of herself. She comes from a place of understanding that in order to live out the motto of Sigma Gamma Rho, greater service, greater progress, she has to take care of herself first. And she taught me that. And her way of taking care of herself, practicing mindful self-care, looks different than mine. And rightfully so. And so should yours. There's no cookie cutter way to do self-care. Everybody has to figure out what works for them, and your self-care practices and needs change from day to day, from year to year, from decade to decade, to whatever's happening in your life. And so back to service, serving yourself first so that you are grounded and can serve others. My mother has been a service shero for me in her commitment, her devotion, her consistency, her leadership. And one of the things that we did to celebrate the sorority's centennial, which was in 2022, is that we decided to do a podcast series that documented my mom's experiences in the sorority. We even had guests on our last podcast episode for 2022. It's called A Cultured Pearls Legacy Podcast. My mother's been in the sorority for more than 50 years. And when you reach that point in Sigma Gamma Rho, you become a cultured pearl. And she became a cultured pearl in 2010. And then I had an opportunity to fly out to our national conference to see her receive her cultured pin, her cultured pearl pin, and just to be honored by the sorority. And so the way that my mom shows up with her passion and her commitment to making an impact in small ways, impacting her local community through the work she does as the director of liturgical music and the founder of the music ministry for children, the founder of the gospel choir. She trains cantors. I mean, even during COVID, she kept things going with the power of technology. Her persistence, her courage, her consistency, her commitment, they are what I see and what I have taken into my own life in how I serve in my community. But first, serving myself by knowing that I need to be grounded in doing the things in my self-care practices that will keep me grounded, and acknowledging when I don't have the energy to serve, and taking the time to rest. Service is one of the greatest privileges we get on this planet, when we get to give back to others. And in this society, we celebrate big things, like you have to make a big mark. We have definitions of success that can really get you twisted when it comes to you recognizing your power to make a difference right where you are. Sometimes we think we have to do something massive, but I'm here to remind us, including myself, that we can serve through our living in small ways. When we look at our local community. And so through the podcast series, because I know I've kind of rambled into some other things, through the podcast series that my mom and I created and launched and shared, we were able to tell some inspiring and empowering stories from my mother's life and her work in the sorority. And as an educator and as a mother, as a wife, as a musician, as an African-American woman, she was able to share her wisdom in a way that was in service to not only our sorority sisters and the affiliates, the Philos, the Rowers, the Rosebuds, and the friends of Sigma. She was able to do it in a way that can bless others, whoever listens. And we did it simply because we wanted to share her lessons learned, to inspire and to empower others. And that was one way that we chose to serve. We used the power of storytelling. We tapped into my digital communications gifts and my creativity and her ability to tell stories. And we produced a series that not only benefited our immediate community, the sorority, it benefited others. And that was the impact. That's all we wanted to do, was to touch one person's life. And so we have confirmation that we've done that. Not that we were looking for it, but we've been told. I mean, we've had sorors come up to us at the Centennial Boulé celebration in July of 2022 to share how much they appreciated it. We've had people share on social media, people share in emails, people send texts. It's been a beautiful experience, and it's been wonderful to see my mom receive the impact of her efforts to serve willingly, completely, and fully. The other day, we received an email from a new member of our sorority, and this was really a beautiful, beautiful email. And I want to give a shout out to Soror Gina. And she just joined a beautiful chapter in Fort Worth, Texas, Alpha Pi Sigma. She was on the spring 2023 membership experience. And she wrote to both of us, and I wanted to share an excerpt from her email that she sent recently. She says, "Dear sorors Teresa and Ananda, I just wanted to let you know how influential and helpful your A Culture Pearls Legacy podcast was to me. I am a spring 2023 member of the Alpha Pi Sigma chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho sorority. I started listening to your podcast as a source of inspiration and research as I began looking into this illustrious organization. I wanted to get a perspective of many different members and their experiences. You both were honest, open, and real about your experiences in the sorority. I loved hearing about your 63-year tenure with the organization and your view on what happened in the past and your vision for the future. The fact that you and Ananda decided to get your mother's view while she was still here and could talk about her experience was not lost on me. Our organization has so much history, and you both are very right that in order to move forward, we need to sit under those older members and absorb what they have to offer us. As I prepared for membership, I took in your words and advice on how I could make a contribution to an organization that is now over 100 years old. I thought about what our founders had to endure and how they did it because they wanted better and greater for those who could come after them. How easy it would have been to just retreat and stay safe elsewhere. However, they didn't. They believed what they were fighting for was necessary, and they selfishly gave. Because of them, I have the wonderful privilege of being in this organization today." And so I wanted to share that wonderful, wonderful email excerpt from our soror Gina, and I hope I'm saying your name right, Gina, because it is reflective of my mother's commitment to serve, just to make an impact in one person's life. That's success in service. And sometimes we don't even know who we impact. So my mom doesn't do it. She doesn't serve. She doesn't breathe in and breathe out greater service, greater progress for the acknowledgement. She does it because she is passionate about her service. Service to herself, first and foremost, so she's grounded in being able to serve others. She served and continues to serve her family, in her marriage, in her community. That includes her church community at St. Joseph's, as well as her Sigma Gamma Rho sorority community. All of that, she does it. She may not do it as much as she has done in the past because she is fully committed to building some things with the music ministry at St. Joseph's, even at 83. And she's got her goals and she's making it happen. She is serving. And she is choosing how she is serving. So what I want to say to everybody is that we have gifts, talents, expertise. There are so many different ways for us to serve. The best thing that we can do with our service is to first check in with ourselves to see if we're grounded so that we can serve. It makes no sense for us to serve others if we are not taking care of ourselves. Self-care is our birthright. And the best way you can serve others is by embracing and practicing your birthright of self-care. The second thing I want to say is that serve through your living is one of the greatest privileges that we get on the planet as human beings. And finding a way to give back where you impact one person's life without even getting the acknowledgement is a blessing that is going to bless you profusely, on and on and on. A lot of times I'm thinking, oh, I'm showing up to serve through my living in how I serve in my U Street community for the past 30 plus years by partnering with businesses to offer meditation. Back in the 90s, it was poetry, it was writing groups. It's been yoga in the early 2000s. It's been Reiki. It's been meditation of late, and self-care. But all of those opportunities were blessings for me, much more than what I even imagined. I was filled up and above and beyond what I could have even imagined. And so when we serve others, we're also serving ourselves. I want to ask you, as I wrap this up, to take a moment to think about, one, how are you serving yourself? How are you allowing yourself to be grounded? Ensuring that you are taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself. And then two, how are you serving through your living? How are you sharing your gifts, your talents, your expertise? Maybe it's in your family, maybe it's in your community, it's in your workplace, but how are you serving? And then what pressure are you putting on yourself in your service? Are you trying to do massive big things? Nothing wrong with that. But are you putting pressure on yourself to do that, as opposed to making a smaller impact in a smaller way? Those are things that I invite you to reflect on. May you continue to nurture yourself, ground yourself, and serve yourself. May you serve others with your gifts, talents, and expertise. Serve through your living in a way that is healthy for you, that allows you to be open to receiving on the other end of that service, because you will be blessed through your service. And may you release the need to put pressure on yourself to make a massive impact. Make an impact with one person. And may you have everything that you need in order to serve yourself and to serve through your living as you serve others. Well, tune in for some offerings that I have. And if you feel called to, respond to them. If you've got questions, reach out to me. If you want to comment on this podcast, which I invite you to, leave me a message. Leave a comment. Send me a DM on social media. I am on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram these days. You can always email me at ananda@anandaleak.com. I look forward to the next time. Take care. If you'd like to learn more about A Cultured Pearls Legacy podcast, featuring the conversations that I have been having with my mother and soror Teresa B. Leak about her 60 plus years of service and her lessons learned as a Cultured Pearl member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, visit anchor.fm/Ananda-Leak. You can find the podcast on Spotify by just looking up A Cultured Pearls Legacy podcast. You can also get the link in the show's description and notes. Spring is coming. Spring is coming. Spring is coming. If you're listening to this in March of 2023, spring is coming. Or maybe it's sprung by the time you've heard this. Let me tell you, the Thriving Mindfully Academy is getting ready to take action. We're preparing to take action. We're looking at how we can tap into our inner resources, how we can access what we've been given inside of ourselves with the support of our higher power, if you believe in a higher power, our loving, wise, and well ancestors, our spirit guides, master teachers, and angels, if you tap into all of that. For me, it's also my Yoruba Orisha. So I bring all of those spiritual entities into my source of how I'm able to prepare and to take action as this new season enters into our lives. I want to invite you, if you're in the DC area, to come to the Thriving Mindfully Academy's Soft as Fuck session on March 26th from 2 to 3 p.m. at Key Kratom CBDT, 1517 U Street, Northwest in DC. The investment is $23. You can go to anandaleak.com/soft. It is an afternoon of meditation, reflection, some sound healing with yours truly, my Koshi chimes, my ocean drum, my sound bowls will make an appearance to help get us grounded in our meditation. It is an invitation to journal, to set intentions, and to share if you feel called to in a safe community. We're looking at how we can prepare and take action as we move into the spring season. The spring equinox is on March the 20th, and we're meeting on the 26th of March to welcome the spring and to look at how we can prepare and take action from the inside out. So join me. One of the ways that I've been able to prepare myself and to take action from a grounded place in my body, in my breath, in my life is through human design. Human design is an amazing self-empowerment, and it's IN-POWERMENT, empowerment, because it's from the inside out. It's a self-empowerment and self-discovery tool that was introduced to me in 2021 through a coaching experience. And over the past 2 years, I have experimented with it and integrated it into my life, my relationships, and my career and my business. And it is a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong experiment. I am now bringing it into a space where I'm offering it to folks like you to support you in preparing yourself and taking action in your life, your relationships, and your career and business. It marries my Thriving Mindfully, heart-centered approach to being present well in the real you. And I use it with my coaching clients. I use it with the Thriving Mindfully Academy members. And now I want to invite you to explore it with me as your human design doula. In human design, you are called to give birth, if you will, to yourself, the real you. And we do that every single day. We do it every single moment. We get 1,440 minutes each and every day. And in each minute, you're birthing yourself. I mean, you're always changing. You're always growing. And so in order to navigate that process, I'm here acting as a doula, someone who can midwife you through this experience, help you understand what human design is based on where you are in your life, help you take the parts of human design that resonate with you the most, because at different times, different things resonate with us, and help you understand it, help you see how you can use it as a tool to connect with your own body's awareness and wisdom. If you're interested, I want to invite you to visit my website. Go to anandalik.com/human design to learn more about how we can work together. I offer 2 types of readings. There's a basic reading, and then there's a more advanced reading once you have an understanding of human design. Check it out. There's also a video that walks you through my own human design experience and gives you some basic information about human design. There are other podcast episodes for the Thriving Mindfully podcast that you can check out. Just go to anandalik.com/podcast, or wherever you find this podcast, you can look and see in the archive the human design episodes. So I look forward to connecting with you more about human design. Thanks for tuning in to the Thriving Mindfully podcast. If you're ready to be inspired and empowered with my coaching support, join me in the Thriving Mindfully Academy. Visit anandalik.com/academy. Now, if you're ready to dive deeper and move past your comfort zone with my one-on-one coaching program, book a discovery call with me today. Visit anandalik.com. If you need something juicy to read, check out my 3 mindfulness books, Love's Troubadours, a self-love and yoga-inspired novel, That Which Awakens Me, a mindful creativity memoir, and Digital Sisterhood, a mindful technology memoir. Go to anandalik.com/books. All of my books are available on Amazon.com. Well, that about wraps us up. And as I always like to say, may we all continue to embrace thriving mindfully in everything that we think, feel, say, and do. See you next time.